What's going on, people? Phonics. Right to truth.
Yeah. Cool-headed, but I'm too deadly. All the way up to the top where I'm going, nigga, where you headed? King shit, overruled peasants. Don't lose your bitch for 2 seconds. All I gotta do is talk to her for a few seconds, and she'll be trying to give me smooth Beckett. Gooseneck, man, marijuana, get the move ready. Crew reppin' since 9th grade, high school freshman. Young nigga, I was too restless. You guessed it, no cap, it's a new era. Midnight with my last bitch and my last bitch. That's 2 X's, those X's, 2 N's. I was gone for a few seconds and came home.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Right to Truth. It's your host, Foxx, man. A few days, we all got to go back to the plantation, huh? Few hours. It's all good, though. You do whatever you got to do to survive, man. Hopefully one day you can be off this plantation. The topic of today's show, man. Innocent is guilty, and guilty is guilty. And also, should men have to have women sign a consent slip before they become intimate? The law is real tricky, and it's setting a dangerous precedence. But don't think just because you see these wealthy men on the screen that this can't trickle down to us common people as well, because it can. You know what I'm saying? I got Bill Cosby, I got Diddy, of course, Puff Daddy, I got Jamie Foxx, and I got, you know what I'm saying, Axl Rose up there from Guns N' Roses, lead singer. And what all these men have in common, they all have been sued in New York State under the Adult Survivors Act. And we're going to get into that. But for those that don't know, I just want to briefly tell you what the differences is between criminal court and civil court. And all these cases are taking place in civil court, not criminal court. Okay? Briefly, criminal laws are the rules that apply when someone commits a crime such as assault, robbery, murder, arson, rape, and other kinds of crimes. After a person is arrested and charged with the crime, that person goes to criminal court. Civil law refers to almost all other disputes. These are the rules that apply when one person sues another person, a business or agency. This can cover a housing case, such as for eviction or foreclosure, a family case, such as divorce or custody, consumer problems, such as debt or bankruptcy, or when someone sues for money because of damage to property or personal harm. All of these cases go to civil court. Hold on, y'all. The judges in criminal and civil court have different powers. Criminal court judges can punish you for breaking the law by sending you to jail. Civil court judges can order you to pay money or a fine or make decisions about your family or your home. Okay, what happens in the civil court? In civil court, one person sues against another person because of a dispute or a problem between them. A business or agency can also file a case in civil court or be sued in civil court. If someone loses the case in civil court, that person may be ordered to pay money to the other side or return property, but that person does not go to jail for losing the case. So I just want to briefly, touch on that. Here I am. Now let's talk about the Adult Survivors Act. Albany, New York. This is by Michael Hill, AP News. For a year, a special New York law has cleared the way for a wave of headline-grabbing lawsuits against famous men accused of sexual misconduct, including former President Donald Trump, hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs, and the comedian actor Russell Brand. But when the Adult Survivors Act expires after Thanksgiving, which it has, it will also have led to a multitude of legal claims by women who say they were sexually abused while serving time in New York's prisons and jails. See, we don't hear about these people. All we hear about is celebrities, but not these poor women who were allegedly sexually abused while they were in New York prisons and jails. More than 2,500 lawsuits have been filed so far under the law, which created a year-long suspension of the usual time limit to sue over an alleged sexual assault. Some of these lawsuits have targeted employers and institutions such as hospitals, accusing of failing to do enough to stop abuse by doctors or other workers. The large majority, though, have been filed against the state, New York City, and local counties, and involve allegations of abuse at state prisons and local jail systems. You see, this is why you have Right to Truth, and this is why you have me, Foxx, because the mainstream media only wants to talk about the famous men that I just had on the screen, but they don't want to talk about the victims where, you know, who don't have these salacious people attached to them. And it's a damn shame, but I'm not going to get into that today, but I did want to just discuss that. After Thursday, people will once again be barred from suing over abuse that happened many years ago. New York was one of several states to revisit laws in recent years that set time limits for civil legal claims stemming from sexual assaults. Though usually for people abused as children, advocates say New York's current window gives traumatized adults a chance to seek accountability from big institutions and powerful men who can use their wealth and position to shield themselves. Precise counts for Adult Survivor Act filings were not yet available this week, but there are at least 2,500 electronic filings in state courts, with some lawsuits being filed on behalf of multiple people. More than half of these filings were prison-related claims against the states. Hundreds of additional filings named New York City's Corrections Department. The act was modeled after a previous New York law offering abused as children a temporary window to file claims. By the time the Child Victims Act 2-year window closed in August 21, almost 11,000 people filed lawsuits, many involved in the Roman Catholic Church. We don't hear about them either, do we? We hear nothing about the church, and we hear nothing about the New York prison system. But they're talking about these men. Okay, I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about these men now, man. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. And it just came out today too that Sean Diddy, P-Diddy Combs, man, 18 corporations he was doing business with, they left him alone, man. You know, citing these lawsuits and the victims and all of that. And you know, there's no innocence until proven guilty anymore. It's just they're automatically guilty in a court of public opinion, and I have a problem with that. And I also have a problem with the women who waited all this time because they knew that this was coming up, the statute of limitations, and now they want to file. Everybody isn't a victim. And look, I don't have any official position. You can't take any sponsors from me, none of that. So I can say that everybody is not a victim. All right? That needs to be expressed, man. This comes from Yahoo Entertainment. Susie Byrne wrote it a few days ago. Sean Diddy Combs accused of gang rape in 4th lawsuit. Everything we know about the allegations. Sean Diddy Combs faces his 4th sexual misconduct lawsuit in less than a month. The Bad Boy Entertainment CEO was accused most recently by a woman who said she was raped by him and others as a teenager. The plaintiff in the case, who filed a suit under the pseudonym Jane Doe, alleges she was raped as a high school junior. Yo, number one, you shouldn't be able to be a Jane Doe. You should have to face your accuser. And I believe it's like that in criminal court. You shouldn't be a Jane Doe. And if this happened years ago, why did you wait until now to say something? Because you saw Cassie get the money. Now everybody else is going to try to get money or stuff that allegedly happened. That's not right, man. The new allegation follows the bombshell lawsuit against him by his ex, singer Cassie, in which she claims she was trapped in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking, including being raped in 2018. Diddy settled that lawsuit, but there are 2 others, in addition to the new one pending. Yo, hold on. I'm going to go on my rant. Cassie, real name Cassandra Ventura, who had an on-off relationship with Combs between 2007 and 2018, filed an explosive lawsuit in federal district court in Manhattan, accusing him of subjecting her to years of abuse during their relationship. She said he controlled and sexually trafficked her. She said he gave her drugs and beat her. She said he forced her to have sex with other men when filming the encounters. She said he raped her at home after forcing his way in. In 2018, the lawsuit was filed under New York's Adult Survivors Act, which ran from November 24, 2022 to November 24, 2023, and allowed people who say they experienced sexual assault to take legal action, even though the statute of limitation has expired. An attorney for Combs, who also goes by the nicknames Puff Daddy and P-Diddy, said in a statement that his client had been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail and was seeking a payday. Through the lawsuit was described as baseless and filled with outrageous lies. And see, Puffy, if you was me, I wish you had something to prove that that's what she threatened, because I would have fought that. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Number two, you and me hooked up as an adult, Cassie. So all of this, you saying that happened, you could have did something about it criminally. Then you got Puffy's clown ass bodyguards and Mark Curry and all these clowns. Oh, we seen this and everybody. You seen it, but you meant it. You did nothing. So you're a coward anyway. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. You was a coward. I have daughters. And it ain't no way, if I see another young girl or woman being victimized in my presence, I don't do anything about it. That's clown stuff, man. And you know, look, like I said, I don't believe all of that. I just don't. Sex trafficked her. See, they know the terms to use. That number one is gonna get real public attention and scrutiny, and it sounds heinous. That's some Law and Order SVU type stuff right there. Sexually trafficked. Gave her drugs. What do you mean? You were an adult. You took those drugs. Whether he supplied you or not, you took them voluntarily. He didn't make you take anything. And if you say that he forced you to have sex with others while he filmed the encounters, that's when you should immediately went to law enforcement if you felt you were raped. And of course, a day later, Combs resolved that matter with Cassie, and he broke her off. Another civil lawsuit, November 21st, which was filed by Jane Doe in New York Supreme Court, accused Harv Pierre, who was the former president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of grooming an unnamed assistant between 2016 and 2017, leading to sexual assault on multiple occasions and sexual harassment. The assistant, who also filed in the New York's Adult Survivors Act, named Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, and Combs Enterprises co-defendants, claiming negligence and gender violence, and saying that they should have known the accused was unfit to be in a position of authority. A company spokesperson said the alleged abuse wasn't reported at the time that they are investigating. Of course it wasn't, because once they knew Cassie got the bag, now all of us got to come out with something, and we got to make it. And we got to make sure that we sue Puffy's business, because that's where the money is at. November 23rd, Combs is sued by two other women for rape. Joy Dickinson Neal filed a civil lawsuit in Manhattan Supreme Court accusing the performer of drugging and raping her in New York City in 1991 when she was a college student. Dickinson Neal, who appeared with Combs in the music video, also cited revenge porn, claiming he filmed the assault and shared it with other people in the music industry. The lawsuit also filed under New York's Adult Survivors Act, named Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boy Records, and Combs Enterprises defendants as well. Again, this woman was an adult. She was an adult. There's been plenty of women who've been drugged and went to the police. There's a football player, Google him. His name is Darren Sharper. He's in prison right now, I think for the next 20 or 30 years for lacing women's drinks. And when they knew that, they automatically went to the authorities. So not only did you appear in a music video with him, you know what I'm saying, you're citing revenge porn, claiming that he assaulted you and shared it with people in the music industry. Well, how would you know that? And if you didn't know that, why you didn't just say people who he shared it with to come forward, if they were going to come forward? The same day, an anonymous plaintiff filed a third lawsuit in New York County Supreme Court alleging that Combs and R&B singer-songwriter Aaron Hall took turns raping her and a friend at Hall's New York apartment in 1990 or 91. These is 30-something years ago, man. And I'm tired. I was scared, and you're not scared enough to come get the bag, though. You're not scared enough to do that and potentially have to reveal who you are. And they'll probably reveal themselves once they get paid. You're not scared enough to do that. That's the crazy part. Diddy's spokesperson called both suits fabricated, claiming falsely alleged misconduct from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute. This is nothing but a money grab. The spokesperson added, the New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act. Okay, that's all I got for that. And Diddy stepped down. Hold on. 3, 4. Yeah, he stepped down from Revolt temporarily as the co-chairman. I mean, you can see why. Then on December 6th, what was that, 4 days ago? A fourth lawsuit was filed by Jane Doe against Combs in the United States District Court in the Southern District of New York, alleging that she was sex trafficked and gang raped by the star in 2003. She said she was 17 at the time and was flown to New York City on a private plane to meet Combs, Pierre, and an unnamed third male, and the three piled her with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol, then raped her in the bathroom at Combs' studio. Combs, Pierre, Daddy House Recordings, and Bad Boy Entertainment are defendants in the suit, which was filed by the same attorney who represented Cassie. Unlike the 3 other lawsuits, the suit falls under New York gender-motivated violence protection law, which allows survivors a 2-year window between March 1, 2023 and February 28, 2025 to file claims even if the statute of limitations have expired. Okay? Again, I was just talking to my homegirl about this, right? And you know what I'm saying? She had a child when she was young by an older dude. And she said exactly what she told me. I knew what I was doing. Even though it might not be legally for him to be with me, I consented. I knew what I was doing. This is a 17-year-old girl. I have a 17-year-old little girl right now. She knows right from wrong. She knows she ain't going nowhere with no grown-ass dudes. She know not to take no drugs. Well, she don't do drugs anyway, but she not taking, definitely around a bunch of men. What is this? This reminds me of the same thing with the R. Kelly shit. Where are the parents? Where are the parents for your 17-year-old to get flown to NYC? I don't know where she's coming from on a private plane. Where are your parents? No abuse is okay. No rape is okay. But where are your parents? Why are you out here doing all this kind of shit like you a grown woman and your parents ain't nowhere in sight? And again, why you wait 21 years almost to say something about it? The fourth lawsuit resulted in Combs breaking his silence, saying in a statement from his rep and posted to social media, quote, "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." Pierre also slammed the lawsuit in a statement to TMZ, calling it a tale of fiction. "I have never participated in, witnessed, nor heard of anything like this ever. These disgusting allegations are false and a desperate attempt for financial gain." And I believe that. I don't believe all of them. I don't believe Cassie. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. You stay with a man for 11 years or however long you was with him, and now people are allegedly coming out and they said they seen this, but nobody tried to intervene on your behalf. Everybody was that morally bankrupt that it was just okay to get paid by him and be his flunky, but it was okay for you to be sex trafficked, fed with drugs, and raped. They say the music industry is the devil, but man, The same day, Tiffany Red, a Grammy-winning songwriter who managed Cassie, wrote an open letter published by Rolling Stone saying she witnessed abuse that Combs inflicted on Cassie and claiming that Diddy terrified her. There were occasions when I heard Combs yelling at her and making threats, quote, and observed her so high, I was afraid of her overdosing at a party, Combs threw for her. But again, you didn't do anything. Now you coming out. And you were an adult. You people weren't taught if you see wrong, you're supposed to say something. And 50 saying, 50 Cent wants a lot of attention. He's worse than a little kid, man. Somebody he coming out with a documentary like, yo, 50, you a clown, man. Like, for real, man. So, yeah, briefly, with the Bill Cosby, he was accused in a lawsuit of sexually assaulting a young comedy writer more than 50 years ago. Joan Tarshis initially made the allegations against Cosby in 2014 that are in the new lawsuit. A Cosby spokesperson did not address the specifics of Tarshis' claims, but asked of the recent lawsuits against famous men, when is it going to stop? The Associated Press does not typically name people who say they were sexually assaulted unless they consent to being identified or decide to tell their stories publicly. Again, they're talking about this, but they're not talking about the women who have alleged to have been sexually assaulted. And I can really believe that. Because that happens all the time. Those women are a lot more vulnerable, and people are a lot less here, would be inclined to hear their voice than a free woman out here because of the stigma and how they're looked at. And again, I think this is setting a really bad precedent, not just for wealthy men, but I think it's going to trickle down. And men, we're going to have to be more careful about how we deal with women. And look, your past can become your future. Be careful, man. Really be careful. If this woman's under the influence, you need to take her home. You need to demand that she goes home. You need to demand that you can get in contact with somebody that she trusts and know. And look, nothing happened, and we need to get her out of here. If you meet her at a bar, leave her at a bar. Don't take her anywhere, man. If this woman is not of sound mind and body and cannot consent and sign something, don't even mess with her. Because see, for the men like you and I, we don't got no money, so we got to go to jail. You're going to go to jail. And there's been many of women that's cried foul before, and it wasn't the truth. But we live in the Me Too movement, and where everybody's a victim, and it's you're guilty, guilty. Oh, you're innocent, but you're still guilty. All right. And Jamie Foxx. Actor Jamie Foxx faces sexual assault and battery charges in a lawsuit filed on Monday with the New York State Supreme Court. The alleged incident occurred in 2015 at Catch NYC, a popular New York City restaurant, according to the complaint obtained by CNN. CNN has reached out to a representative for the plaintiff seeking comment. The plaintiff, identified as Jane Doe, claimed in the suit that Foxx intentionally and without consent used force to offensively touch plaintiff's person, including groping her breasts and genitals. The complaint alleges Foxx seemed intoxicated at the time of the incident. As a result, the complaint states the woman suffered and continues to suffer physical and emotional injuries, anxiety, distress, embarrassment, and economic harm, and is seeking an unspecified amount. A spokesman for Fox told CNN in a statement Thursday, the alleged incident never happened. In 2020, this individual filed a nearly identical lawsuit in Brooklyn. That case was dismissed shortly thereafter. The claims are no more viable today than they were then. The statement added, We are confident they will be dismissed again. And once they are, Mr. Foxx intends to pursue a claim for malicious prosecution against this person and her attorneys for refiling this frivolous action. The plaintiff is also suing the restaurant's parent company, Catch Hospitality Group, and various related business entities as defendants for negligent hiring, training, and supervision. A representative for the company was not immediately available for comment. Yo, man. And you know what's so scary? Like, they don't even care that they're destroying these people's careers. Like, a couple of $100,000 or $1 million is okay. I mean, if this stuff really happened, my thing, why didn't you handle it right then? And you're suffering physical and emotional injuries, anxiety, distress, embarrassment, and economic harm from somebody groping you. And don't hit me with the don't tell me how to feel shit. Don't hit me with that. Are you serious right now? This is crazy to me. And we started seeing the ball rolling with all of this with real monsters like R. Kelly and the Harvey Weinsteins. And again, I blame a lot of their so-called victims. You allowed them to attack victim after victim. Because had you has spoke up, it wouldn't have happened. Had R. Kelly, those children that he was messing with, where were their parents and allowing them to go off with this grown-ass man? They should be in prison too. If you want to give R. Kelly 25, give them 10. Because they allowed those things to happen to their children and they did nothing. But they got the nerve to come on TV, surviving R. Kelly, and yeah, my daughter, this and that. Ain't that a bitch? No pun intended. You didn't protect your child, but you got the nerve to come on and talk about what the predator allegedly did to your child. But you're the reason that it happened. That's crazy to me. You just heard the article with Jamie Foxx. This woman, she tried to file in 2020. It's a money grab, man. And yo, they got to stop being allowed to destroy men's lives and people's lives with this foolishness. This is dangerous. People are going to end up getting hurt behind stuff like this. Everybody's not going to just go down quietly while you destroy their fucking careers. Lastly, Axl Rose. A former model has accused the Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose of a violent sexual assault 30 years ago, according to a lawsuit filed in New York Supreme Court on Wednesday. Sheila Kennedy, a former Penthouse model, alleges that Rose violently assaulted her in his New York hotel room the night they met in 1989, when she was about 26 and he was 27. According to the suit reported by Rolling Stone, Kennedy first met Rose at a nightclub, where he invited her to his hotel room for a party, but did not invite her friend as she was not hot enough. Well, can't blame her on that. Kennedy says she apologized to her friend and went back to Rose's room with the future MTV host Ricky Ratman. Once back at the room, the suit alleges Rose piled the guests with cocaine and alcohol. When Kennedy went to the bathroom, Rose allegedly positioned himself outside the door. When she emerged, he pushed Kennedy against the wall and kissed her. Kennedy, quote, Kennedy found Rose attractive and did not mind this encounter. She was open to sleeping with him if things progressed, the suit says, though she is adamant that she did not consent to the violent encounter later in the evening. Kennedy claims to have left the room late into the party once Rose began having sex with another model that was aggressive in a way that appeared painful for the model and made Kennedy uncomfortable. After leaving the room, she heard the sound of glass shatter and Rose screaming at the model. Upon hearing the noise, Rockman allegedly told Kennedy, "It's going to get bad." Kennedy claims that Rose walked down the hallway to Rockman's room, pushed her to the floor, and dragged her, causing her to bleed. Once in the room, Rose allegedly threw her on the bed, grabbed pantyhose, and tied her hands behind her back. The suit alleges he was in a sexual volatile rage and that Rose forcibly penetrated Kennedy. Quote, he treated her like property used solely for his sexual pleasure, the suit says. Kennedy did not consent and felt overpowered. In a statement, Rose's attorney, Alan Gutman, denied Kennedy's allegations. Quote, simply put, this incident never happened. Notably, these fictional claims were filed the day before the New York State filing deadline expires. Wow, we are really seeing something with that one, right? It continued. Though he doesn't deny the possibility of a fan photo taken in passing, Mr. Rose has no recollection of ever meeting or speaking to the plaintiff, and has never heard about these fictional allegations prior to today. Mr. Rose is confident that this case will be resolved in his favor. Kennedy says she suffered PTSD-like symptoms after the alleged incident, and that she has suffered anxiety and depression since the incident that compromised her career. She seeks unspecified damages from the court for assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional stress, and gender-motivated violence. Again, you was 26, 27, almost 30 damn years old. That's number one. Then you had the nerve to say, he piled the guests. See what I said? Watch for these words. He piled the guests with cocaine and alcohol. You could put a mountain of coke right here. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do that because I don't do cocaine. And if I'm going to drink some alcohol, I'm going to sip some. I'm not going to get to the point where I'm incapacitated around strangers. Sheila Kennedy is what you call, she was a groupie. And look, back then, when they got caught up with things, all kind of stuff went down. All kind of stuff went down, man. Right, wrong, and indifferent. All type of stuff went down. They knew that. I wasn't there, you wasn't there. But again, you're talking about something that happened 30-something years ago, and now you want to become, you don't want to put in jail. He did all these heinous things to you, and you are suffering from all these, you got PTSD, you got all this stuff going on that you've been had going on for the last 30-something, 33, 34 years of your life. You don't want to see him do a day in jail, but you want some money. That's my whole thing with these broads. It ain't nobody that came out and said, yo, you know what? F the money. I want him to do 10 years in jail and see what it's like going in prison as a sex offender. Nobody is saying that. Everybody is saying, no, they want some money. And that'll make everything okay. Legal system, we not seeing something wrong with this? Society, we not seeing something wrong with this? Because there's something wrong with this. There's something definitely wrong with this. So where these women could just jump out here and yo, nowadays, yo, stuff don't go away. When like I said, Diddy just lost 18 business contacts. Who knows what Jamie Foxx might lose? You know, Axl Rose is still touring, and Bill Cosby, they just want to take a shit on him until they can shit on top of his grave. And I'm glad to see the Cosby Show on TV. I'm glad to see it back on there, and I hope it stays on there for eternity. Because that's my show. I grew up on that show. And Bill Cosby, he might well be a scumbag. I don't know him personally. He might well be. But the thing is, if somebody saw something, they should have said something. And if you're saying money means more to me than that man going to prison, then yo, have at it. But I'm going to tell you, man, we have to be very careful. You need to be very vigilant when you're dealing with these women. Be very vigilant in your messaging and in the particular things you say. And the most important thing that all men and young men need to understand and realize, no means no. Not maybe. Not, oh, I thought she said no. No means no. Once that woman said, nah, I don't feel like it, or no, leave her alone. Not only leave her alone, you remove yourself immediately from that situation. I have experience with this personally. Not too long ago, this happened to a family member, a young man, very young, with a bright future, and it was almost destroyed by allegations. And it's not totally over, and it's very unfortunate. And I don't want to see this happen to anybody. So this is what I'm saying. Again, what I told you, rich people have to pay. Poor people, you're going to jail. So you keep that in mind when you so horny and you just can't let that go. You better let her go. And if she ain't in her right mind, period, don't touch her. I don't care if it's your girlfriend. Don't touch her. Because you see, these people are heartless and they're cold, and they will destroy your life. Look what Jonathan Majors is going through. He loses that case, he won't be doing any more Disney and Marvel movies. And his career will be, for all intents and purposes, over. And he's a young man. This Me Too movement is very strong. It has no problem making an example and destroying men. Men, you have to be more proactive, you have to be more responsible, and you have to have more self-control. I'm practicing what I'm preaching, because I ain't going out like that. I work around women and men. I'm very professional. I don't crack those corny jokes. I don't talk fresh to them. I don't do any of that. Everything is professional. Yeah, we can laugh and have a joke, but we all laughing. The whole office laughing. I ain't saying nothing off rip, out of taste, none of that. You will lose your job. And these jobs have already warned you, so you won't get a second warning. That's what all the training is about. Where we had a job, you have all this training. Most of y'all probably fall asleep or don't pay attention, and you're gonna wish you should have, because they're not playing with it. Times have changed. Today, there's no more gay jokes and saying off-color comments to people. They will report you. You'll get investigated. Your ass gonna be gone. Don't do it, man. You see what's going on out here? Men, be careful. Protect yourself. They're not playing, man. They want to make an example of us. Yo, man, I'd like to thank everybody who supports my channel, man. Subscribers is going up, man. Please like this. Yo, it ain't nothing but clicking a like, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you share it or not, but like it. You know what I'm saying? Let's have more conversations like this. Let's keep discussing this and let's keep this going, man. You see the Cash App, man. Donate to the movement, man. Yo, follow me on Instagram at Foxx, man. I had that running for a minute. If you didn't see it, go back and play the video. You'll see that you see the tick at the bottom where to follow me at, man. I'm out there, man. And, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Let's be more vigilant, though. Let's be more vigilant and let's be more respectful of one another. You know, everybody have a good evening, man. I'm about to get ready to watch this Cowboys Eagles game. Go Eagles.